Fellow summoners, welcome to another pulse pounding,
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
lightning inducing, tower ascending episode of A Monster Rancher's Guide to Summoner's War. I am the rune removing AztecOlmec,
Yes.
but it wouldn't be a proper episode if I didn't have the No Man's Sky Island Lightstar777 with me.
What is up, fellow summoners and ranchers? We hope you all are having a great week. As usual, Aztec, how are you doing, my friend?
How am I doing?
How are you doing? How you doing?
How am I doing?
How you doing?
My webcam started working out of nowhere.
Excellent.
It just stopped working out of nowhere, then it started working again.
Classic webcam behavior, if you ask me.
WandaVision was just off of the chain, and I get to do a show with my bud. So I am on cloud nine.
Love.
And I just got No Man's Sky. I am on cloud nine today. Are you kidding me? And it's Valentine's Day soon, so
yeah,
you know.
Gotta
love it.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Yes, you have hinted on a couple of things we are going to talk about. So, subjects this week, No Man's Sky, of course. We are definitely, and no way are we missing this, we are going to do the thing that we have said for forever, and we are going to make sure that we are pulling up. I'm sorry, clicking on buttons is hard. We are going to make sure we talk about WandaVision. It has been far too long in the waiting for us to do this. And
it's actually good because this last episode, man.
Whew, yeah. We are going to talk a little bit about the rune removal. Saturday, we are going to talk a touch about not only what Lightstar should 6-star next, but also what Aztec should 6-star next. So, definitely reaching out there into the universe and to our Discord and anywhere else who will listen to us and seeing who might want to give a suggestion on what we should do. And also, right off the top, something... and we're going to talk the new Transmog pack that came out with the Popstar girls and discuss which ones we like the best and so on and so forth. But right off the bat, first and foremost, huge congrats and once again a happy birthday to JD the Gamer.
JD, absolutely.
Great friend of the show, has been nothing but supportive and loving and a great person and just one of a kind. He is so cool.
Absolutely.
While we're at it, like Love Nelly, Childish, like Island Road, all these content creators that we have met so far doing this, I mean, thank you.
And learned a bunch from them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And, definitely appreciative for all the knowledge and all the support. So, right off the bat, we just want to say, if you weren't there, you should definitely check out JD's summon sesh. There were a lot of highs and everything else, and, I mean, I want to say it was within the first... Oh, I mean, it had to be, his first 20 or so summons, he popped a blessing and had the choice between, I believe it was...
It was the two that he
won. It was Savannah or Diana. And so, he pulled the, everybody watching, and, I pretty much was like, we'll go with Savannah. And you know what? I bet Diana will come around again in your summon session. And
then what
sure enough, we are down to the bare bones, almost to the end of the scrolls, and he pulled a Diana. So Just to recap,
That was great.
he got Poseidon, Wind Unicorn, a Water Slayer, which is the Bison, and
Right,
Savannah,
and Bison.
and the Wind Dryad.
Druid, yeah, Wind
Druid.
Druid. Sorry,
Yep.
that was my
Oh,
bad. I
he
wrote
mistyped
Dryad.
it.
I meant Druid.
Wind Druid, Tyrannus. So, and he had some really great guests on the show. He had
Yes.
Gigi Beans,
Yes.
Johnny V. Who else? Oh, there was another.
Nelly. Nelly was there too.
Nelly was there, but there was somebody else. Oh my gosh, why am I forgetting this? It was Johnny V, but also what's his name? This is going to bother me now. But he had just amazing, wonderful guests on his stream.
Yeah, it was a great time. It was such a fun time.
Very knowledgeable cats, like some, wonderful theory crafters for, Summoner's War, intellects, and, then Gigi is, she just, I mean, she really has great perspectives on things. One of the big things that stood out to me was, she kind of had stated that, a lot of people, they get fearful about doing RTA because, of the losing, or that, oh, maybe I don't have the right unit. And there is a lot of that in the game, that people kind of default to, oh, I don't have the right unit, so I shouldn't RTA. And what she said really resonated, and it's something, I've said I do believe in, is, it doesn't really matter. Like, you could be a great player or a bad player, and there's still room to do RTA, and I think have fun with it. Like,
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
because, I mean, the fact that Veramos was one of the most used characters in the championship
Yeah,
a couple years back, in a free-to-play.
character.
One of the first ones everybody summons, and yet was that instrumental in the season. So, I mean, just overall it was great. And to whomever I'm forgetting, I know there were a couple others, and they were just wonderful guests. I enjoyed it start to finish, and it was just a lot of fun. So, happy birthday
really
again,
was.
JD, and congratulations, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, keep it going. Big shout outs to JD the Gamer. I had a blast. I haven't had that much fun since probably one of the online virtual events that Comtuous throws. But really kind of stoked my energy, and passion for the game again. So just want to give him a big astral hug if I can.
Astral
Absolutely.
hugs.
Astral hug.
Now one thing, this does kind of bring up, we had sort of semi talked about this ahead of the event, and I mean, JD's summon session, and I am very much of two minds about it. Overall, JD summoned, I think he said it was something just over 600 scrolls. Okay?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Right. But as we pointed out, he did get 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I think he got in total 7 5-star units, and he crystallized one of them. That was a dupe. So, I mean, the fact that, you could get 7, let's call it just over 1 5-star per 100 scrolls. So, do you consider that to be a good percentage? I guess what I'm saying is, do you think that ratio is better all at once, or would you rather spread it out?
I'd rather spread it out. I just love the thrill of, especially getting Nat 5s, not only on this show, but, when I do my dailies, I summon, my 3 mysticals or whatever. And how many times have we gotten nat fives just from those random mysticals?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like, a special event or anything, but it made that day super special. We can always go back to, I screenshot all my nat fives,
Oh,
regardless,
same.
so I can always go back to that day and be like, oh man, that was a really good day. I got, I got that nat five that I like. You know, it really depends. I mean, if you don't have like a show or a platform, there's really not too much need to save up. I don't really. I we pop scrolls in our summon session pretty much every week. And every day, I pop my 3 mysticals. So, that took some willpower, which unfortunately I am not super blessed with. To hoard all those scrolls for all that time.
Now, I do have a question pursuant to that. Do you
Sure,
think,
please.
and this is something that I think would be kind of fun, even as a thought experiment, that
Sure.
we track the next 100 scrolls?
Okay.
Like, we keep tally of how many scrolls we're summoning each time,
Right.
and we monitor it, and it just see, do we get one nat 5 per 100? And I will even go so far as to say we track it out to 125 scrolls, and
Okay.
we just keep note of it. We track it, and if we don't get one nat 5 through spreading it out in 125 scrolls, then I will think that we are better off saving up our scrolls.
It's spreadsheet time.
I know.
Da-da-da. Yeah.
To the Google Docs. Copyright. Copyright.
Google Docs.
Copyright Google Docs. Boy, I should be paying attention more to this battle. But yeah, no, I mean, what do you think about that? Because I mean, it is something I have dwelled on for a very long time. Is should I be, saving my scrolls, or should I be, kind of flittering them away at, an alarming rate? And it's always been kind of a hard thing for me to decide one way or the other which one is better. But I think that, for me at least, if we both tracked it and we both were consistent, like even on our off days, if all we do is 3 scrolls, just put it into a note, just pop it into somewhere, say I did 3 summons and
Right.
they were all terrible. And then, again, we aim for 125, and then once we get 125, we come back and share the results. Because that's about the ratio. He was able... Yeah. I mean, he got some great units, which makes me think if...
got new units on top of it.
Yeah.
Now, JD's an OG. He's been playing longer than us.
Oh,
and he's
definitely.
still got new units. So,
right?
Hope is in the air for everybody.
Right. So, I suggest that if you're okay with that, starting today, we will track.
What's the date? Today's the 10th of February at the time of the recording, right?
Yep.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Cool. My notes are going onto the side of my... Yes, continue. Yeah, you say it, Kai.
Yeah. Tell me about it. We only do the show for a year. But,
Okay, let me just count of how many summons to 125. All right, cool. Now I have a note up there, so I will be ready to count how many scrolls we have done. So, what did you do for Rune Removal Day? Because what I did was worked too many hours, missed it, and forgot that it was going on. Which is my standard. That's pretty much... Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop this repeat battle so that I can get my unit that I want out of here. Yeah, no, I don't want those. So that I can do better in RTA. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Excellent. Um, on the let's see, advice slash bullying. Just kidding. Of Young Gun, saying that my Lucian wasn't
Non-fat Lucian.
non-fat Lucian.
Skinny Lush. Skinny Lush!
So I definitely pulled the runes off of him, and I don't think I re-runed him yet, but I just did a whole lot of house cleaning. I pulled a lot of runes off. I sold a lot of the runes that I needed to sell because I was getting up there in the storage, and I want to kind of retool everybody for RTA. Now,
Nice.
yes, I know you can actually have two sets of RTA runes and regular, we'll just say scenario runes. But I don't know. In my mind, I'm still old school, so I still gotta wait till rune removal day to actually do it with no penalty. But regardless, I'm going to get a little bit more RTA focused.
Nice.
Just like Gigi said, even if you don't have units. But guess what? I have some units, and I could. I really should, at this point in the in my Summoners War career, be more focused on RTA because I know Lightstar wants to, do a little bit of Aztec versus Lightstar competitive.
Oh, I would
banter,
love. I would love to fight with you almost every day.
See, exactly. So who am I to deny my good friend some good old scrapping? So I pulled off a lot of runes, especially on my more RTA focused rune units, and that kind of segues into one of our topic is, what should Aztec 6-star next? But yeah, what should Aztec 6-star next with a kind of an emphasis on RTA units? I sent Lightstar a cool little list of potential 6-stars. I'll run them down really quickly. Barbara, water, Beast Rider, Brandia, fire, Polar Queen, Daphnis, fire, Fairy King, Molong, water, Panda Warrior, and Juno, fire, Oracle. Um, by way of RTA, who do you think I should 6-star next out of that list of characters?
Okay, now this one is kind of tough because I do see merit in several of them for RTA. So I mean, ones I see very, very often would be like the Beast Riders. They're always very high up there in the
Absolutely
list of things that I will end up having to fight a lot of the time. Brandy is great, but not really truly. I mean, I see her, but I don't know that she shines in RTA as much as some. I mean, Molong, despite the nerf, is still a big time RTA monster that I spot quite often. Juno is great for, I mean, again, especially if you were going to like try to use like a dot team to kind of, dot your problems away. Juno would be great because, for those that don't know, she takes the buffs and changes them to damage over time. So if you get her with enough accuracy and enough, enough buffs on the enemy team, she can really change the tide of battle by pretty much taking your 4 or 5 buffs and turning them into detriments. So, I mean, the one thing is she's also she's very much a strong unit for keeping herself alive because she does a lot of self-healing. So, like, anytime she gets debuffed, it heals her, things of that nature. So, she's very good. But, I mean, I have to be honest with you and say that there really is only one answer in this if you're going to focus on RTA, and that is Daphnis, the Fire Fairy King that
Excellent.
Lightstar will probably never get, but that's fine.
Oh,
I'm not
keep
mad.
hope
I'm
alive.
not mad. So, I mean, I'm not actually bothered by it. It'll happen someday, probably, maybe. Um,
So what I've done also is marked off a whole bunch of 4 stars that I'm not really going to use. I mean, the Sliffids, not really going to use them. There's a whole bunch of 4 stars that, um, since I'm trying to get a little bit more like focused by way of like RTA and such like that, I've had a bunch of 4 stars just kind of sitting there for years that could be, food for these 6 stars.
mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of clean house a little bit. The 4 stars that I'm not really going to, or I'm going to,
Now, I
roll
would
again.
say, regardless of what
Mhm.
you were doing, keep one of
Okay,
everything.
I'll do that.
And you need
But
to,
I have so
and
many
I do
slips,
also think that
slippets,
you
and
need
whatever.
to actually get up to the max storage defense force amount,
No problem.
because I think that might also be kind of hampering the development. I mean, not so much now with
Okay,
like the
makes
new
sense.
storage, but I keep a lot of projects that I want. Like when I was working on my Tiankin and all of that, I
Yeah,
definitely was holding a lot of monsters in my, traditional monster box. So they were
excellent.
in my storage defense force, so that I knew they were like what I'm going to use to 5-star this, and what I'm going to use to,
Right.
or I mean 6-star this, and what I'm going to use to level up in 6-star that. So just something to keep in mind, because I know you're still about 300 behind me on storage defense force space. So
Yeah, about that.
and I mean, and you can't work on side projects if you don't have space there, because the moment you start leveling
Gotcha.
something up, you can't put them in the overflow anymore. So
Right.
just something to keep in mind and think about. You know what? No.
Okay. Definitely
Masha.
sounds good.
Masha it is.
So you are picking Daphnis out of the bunch. Okay. I
Yeah,
absolutely.
because I have been one shot by Daphnis no matter how good my character is. And
I hear you.
Daphnis moves very fast in
Gotcha.
RTA. So I like, even with my speedy lead team, I have a
Right.
hard time outpacing Daphnis's. So usually I end up losing somebody almost immediately, and it doesn't matter what kind of defense I'm bringing to the table.
So maybe throw Bernard on the team. Maybe put Samantha as a speed lead.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, but you have to remember, if you're getting into RTA, like, people are going to probably ban your Samantha for the speed lead and leave you with your
Right.
Bernard, hoping that your runes aren't enough to outspeed them. So
Gotcha.
there are
Good
things
pick.
to
Good pick.
consider. I tend to try to have 2 speed leads if I can swing it.
All right.
So like on here, I'll use my Ciara and I'll use my Bernard, so that no matter what,
Mm.
I hopefully will get a speed advantage over them. So
Hmm.
that's how I've been playing lately, and I'm having adequate success. Like, I'm not, like, we all know I
Hmm.
am not great at RTA because I can't really
Doesn't matter.
get much higher than I am, but I have been enjoying it. So
So, quick question: do
yeah,
you happen to have a water succubus? Is Nara or Izzy or whatever? She has a speed lead also, and I'm
I
pretty
have
sure I have 6 stars.
I have
Who else? I mean, besides Samantha, the better question is: besides Samantha, who do you use as a speed lead?
Fran if I feel like I need a healer, but I don't
Got you.
very often. And
Hmm.
I mean, you have one, the fire Valkyrie, right? Don't you have?
No, I don't have Vanessa. I upon further review, because I had to check, I do not have Vanessa. What
Oh, okay.
happened is she came up in a splendid blessing, but I didn't pick her. I think I
That's right.
picked Bulver. So I
That's right.
understand why you would think I had her, but she was definitely one I didn't pick in the Splendid Blessing, because I was looking, because I like 2 shows ago we were like, yeah, you have Vanessa. I was like, do I have Vanessa? And I looked, and I definitely do not.
Fun. That's funny. Okay. I just have to remember where the succubi are in this storage defense force scenario here. Everything is all sitting. Oh, there. Yeah. So let's see. I have Tazaria. I have Akia. I have Selena. I have Isael. So it looks like, yeah, I have everyone but the light succubi, and they're all awakened. So,
Okay.
I mean, I do have
So if you ever
those.
want to build her, she's definitely got a speed lead. You know, the water one.
Nice. Um, but excuse me. Let me get a drink of water.
Yes, please hydrate. Posture.
Posture.
anyone that watches JD's stream knows what I'm talking about.
Um. So let me think. Yeah, no, Daphnis all the way, because built correctly, Daphnis
Yeah.
could pretty, like, one, people are intimidated by Daphnis a lot because of his burst damage,
Yeah.
and two, just because he is so formidable that if you do get somebody brave enough to fight you,
Right.
hopefully you will come out ahead in the end. So that's
Okay.
what I would do, for what it's worth.
I will take your advice. We will do that.
I'm going
Absolutely.
to finish this round, and then we can come back and we'll go through my monsters, and we can look over where I'm at, and we can try to decide what I should 6-star next, which is always
No
a hard
problem.
decision. But let's see. Go ahead. Let's talk about No Man's Sky. You asked me about it last night, and I started a fresh game up for you and started showing you a little bit about how it works.
Yes. So, you know, just long story short, No Man's Sky kept popping up in my YouTube timelines. A number of people that play Elite Dangerous, which is another, space-oriented game that Ken and I play, um, play No Man's Sky also. And I remember way back in 2016, I saw like a 30-second, clip about it, and I was impressed, but not so much. And then I heard the
You're
whole
right.
story of it, of all the promises that were made. It, Hello Games just getting totally ripped apart in the media. And then, really, instead of taking that on, as a detriment, they put so much work into all these new updates and all these different things that you can do. And it really just blew my mind. So I actually, got the game, a couple hours before we recorded. And I'm super nude, probably like maybe 2 hours in, and I like it a lot. Granted, I'm a super new and everything's new to me, and and I don't really play like a whole lot of crafting type, games and such like that. But I'm liking this a lot. It's like a mix of all these different genres, survival, crafting, of course, a little bit of combat, some space flight. They they just meshed all these different
Genres into
and I just
one.
like, yeah, it really reminds me of like old school Ratchet and Clank with the the art style and such like that. Art style is very big when I'm playing games. One of the reasons why I like Summoner so much, but I digress. But yeah, maybe 2 hours in, I was already like, and one thing I love and hate about it is there's no real tutorial. There's really no like
Well, but
no
that's a thematic device to basically just be like, "Hey, bud, you woke up. You have no idea who you are. There's a ship that seems to like you over here."
there is. I mean, even saving the game isn't really super clear. But
No, you
regardless,
don't.
I
You
kind of
don't.
like.
You don't get to save the game. You have to do something that's worthy, and then they're like,
Yeah,
"All right, I guess we'll save
all
your
right,
game."
that was cool. We'll save it. But even things like naming, plants and animals that you discover and plants that you discover is just ridiculous. So, literally, we have plans to jump on it together and see what the multiplayer and see how we can, help each other out and progression and such like that. But I like it a lot. Big shout out to Hello Games. You really could have just take everyone's money and ran like a lot of developers do, and not completed your promises. But you did. You put effort in, and I have to respect that. Like, there's so many gaming companies that would have, throw paid walls up, threw loot crates up, and they didn't. They just finished the game and added more to the game, more than what was promised. So you got to give respect where respect is due, especially in this gaming industry.
Right. And I mean, and that's so important. Like, look at some of these companies that, promise big and then have actual train wrecks. And then they're like, oh, hey, well, if you give us more money, we'll finish the game for you. The funny thing is, I'm not even one to ever really have a problem with paying more for a game to be good, because I'm of the mind that back in the day, Nintendo, or not even Super Nintendo games were like $60. So like game prices have not really moved anywhere, and yet we're still here paying the same amount, and now there's like thousands of people who work on these games to get like one game out. And yet people are still like, oh, I don't want to pay any more than a Super Nintendo game back in the 90s price. I don't get that. Like, I mean, I understand that they do have so much more to them, and there's just so much more development cycle and everything else that I am always willing to pay. So I don't mind, like, even some free to play games. I don't mind supporting the fact that I understand intellectually that the games take time and effort and a lot of heart and soul to bring to the table. So, I mean, for my 2 cents, that's how I feel. So, like, if I get a game on a PlayStation sale and it's got, like, this is our premium add-on pack for, like, additional content, I'm like, yeah, whatever, that's cool. I'm, like, glad to spend it for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, so if you can, check it out, No Man's Sky. It's been around since about 2016, and they've added a metric ton to this game. When I first saw it, way back in 2016, it was kind of cool. You can land on planets. If there's a plant or an animal that is running around, you can scan it, and you could even name it if you want. But they've added so much more. I mean, there's base building, there's underwater bases, there's even like a DJ set that you can build. Like, just a whole bunch of stuff that you can do in No Man's Sky. So,
and mind you, when it came out, none of that was that way. So, I mean,
not at all.
So understand that we have gone through it, those of us that played it from the beginning. And I for one, I did play it, and then I almost completely stopped. And, I mean, I've played it on and off over the years, but, like, I've always had other things that took higher priority. So, but definitely it's something that I would sincerely consider playing. So, let's see. Going through my monster box here. My Ifrits are going to be 6-starred just because that's my project with... and I 6-starred my, my Monkey King recently.
Excellent. Yeah, I see that.
I've got my third Lushan just cooking away over there. But let us look. Let me pick up the phone here. So definitely Molong. Molong has been something I've wanted to 6-star for a very long time and just haven't.
Yeah.
Part of me feels like I should give Sekhmet a try because I do see her in RTA sometimes, and I believe that she is just a much maligned monster that deserves more love than people. Yeah.
Yeah, we've given Sekhmet a lot of hate over the years, but hey, why not?
She's definitely Triton here. He would be pretty great too. I mean, great base speed. He gets out ahead of people. He, removes beneficial effects and decreases their attack bar. He silences enemies. He, transfers harmful effects from himself to the enemy. So kind of almost like the mechanic of Felleria and her family.
Yes.
Of course, the Dragon Knights, Leica and Leo, are both two that, I mean, definitely up for consideration.
Yep.
Um, Other than that, like I'm getting too low because these are all my 4 stars.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I already have 2 spare Abigails. I do have a third one waiting to be summoned because I kind of want to keep 3 because I don't know why. I just think three Abigails hitting 8 times would be pretty impressive.
Okay.
But I have 2 that I could potentially use for 5-star food to help 6-star my second Abigail. Yeah, I don't know. So I mean, definitely Mo Long is up there, and
So out of the I heard Mo Long.
Triton,
I definitely heard Triton.
Dragon Knights, Sekhmet.
Okay. So out of those, I would definitely go. Let's see. I would go with Triton. I
Man,
think
he's
Triton,
a great
especially,
RTA monster.
yeah, he really is. I mean, the only you don't happen to have a Okeanos, a fire um
Fire.
fire Poseidon, fire Poseidon, a fire um but yeah, out of all those, I would do Triton for all the reasons you said. He controls attack bar. He can get out in front because he has good base speed. I would do Triton.
Yeah, no, the Sea Emperor, the only one I have is Triton. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, maybe I'm thinking very highly, but if I do that,
Hmm.
I have to 6-star Mo Long after him. It has to be, and then maybe the Dragon Knights, and somewhere in there Alicia, because it's a travesty that Elsa is not 6-starred.
And you being the Disney fan that you are,
It's true. All
can't
true.
have Elsa not being 6-star. Not at all.
Right?
So consensus: Aztec 6-star Daphnis,
Yes.
Lightstar 6-star Triton, post haste.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It'll be a while, but yes.
Do we have time for WandaVision spoilers or WandaVision talk? Or...
Yes. Okay, I'm going to put this up. And when you see this, and I'm going to click it, I'm going to click the clapboard, okay? When I do that, we are going to do 3 exact minutes, and then I'll do this again. Yep. So anybody who wants out, you have about 10 seconds. And after that, it's Spoiler City for 3 minutes, and...
Spoiler time. WandaVision time.
All right. Go. You're not going fast enough. Go faster.
I am super excited that the MCU is getting mutants.
Yes.
I couldn't believe that the actor playing the Fox X-Men Quicksilver, I'm just going to grab his name real quick, is
Pietro.
Now on WandaVision.
Yeah. While you're grabbing that, so here's my thing. I still think the director of S.W.O.R.D. is behind everything, because how easy would it have been for him to doctor that footage? Because didn't Wanda come into like a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility and bust it up one time,
Yes.
And
to get Vision's body out. Yep.
Right, but before this, like, I think back in Avengers, Age of Ultron, didn't she like bust up like a facility, as I recall? Right. So if she's already busted up a facility before, what is to say she could not bust up he couldn't have doctored that footage to make it seem like she was stealing Vision's body? Again, I still think S.W.O.R.D's director is behind it, and that's why Rambo didn't know anything about it, because she had been blinked, which is why he sent her knowing that she was going to get embroiled with this whole thing, because he was like, oh, well, she won't think anything of it because she doesn't really have the history on it. So
It's good theory crafting.
That's where I'm at. I'm very excited for Quicksilver. I really loved the whole thing about Vision not knowing who he was, because it sells my theory that without the Mind Stone, he essentially, isn't really himself, and that they're using Wanda to bring back his memories and all of that. And my last point before I throw it back to you is the Hex is kind of like how they travel in like Guardians of the Galaxy. You saw it where they would have that travel through a Hex. So I think she punched a hole in the space-time continuum to a different dimension, and that's why we're seeing Fox Quicksilver in the Marvel MCU. There we go. Your turn.
Okay, you went super deep.
Yep. You got like you got like a little bit of time, so pick up your spoilers.
I'm happy for mutants, X-Men forever. I'm good.
No, you got 15 seconds. Make good use of them.
X-Men, mutants in the MCU. Yay!
I just
Aztec happy.
I just want to see Sir Patrick Stewart in Charles Xavier role in that. All right, and here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, spoilers done. Anyways, that was fun. So
Evan Peter. That's his name.
Evan Peter? All right. That's not really a spoiler. That's an actor's name. So, shall we have a few summons? I have an L&D, a water, and I'm going to pop a few mysticals, because why not?
Summon a clock.
Because, I mean, we're keeping count, right? I have to adhere to the fact that, I just have to summon till I get to 125, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I'm going to summon till 118, and then I'm going to do the water, and then the L&D. So,
do you have space in your storage defense force?
Yeah, I have 16 right now in my normal place, so I'm going to notate the date.
So I'm going to make some space, and
16 summons. See, this is great. I've already got how many summons I'm going to do today listed down. Just going to keep this note going, so add it up every week, and I'll know exactly where we're at.
Spreadsheets, ho, ho, ho.
Spreadsheets for days.
Let's see. So I got one legendary. I got soon to be 2 L&Ds. And I'll do 10 mysticals.
Look at you go. Look at you go.
10 mysticals. 10 mysticals.
All right. Limber up my fingers.
So that's what, 12? 12 in total?
I guess so.
So 2 L&Ds, 1 legendary, that's 3. So it's 13 in total. You know what? That's going to be my magic number. Every session, I'm going to do 13 scrolls.
But now you're making me think my 16 is excessive.
It's not excessive at all.
I'm going to keep it random, because that's where I'm at in my life.
Okay. Makes perfect sense. So yeah, 13 scrolls per week. And you said you want to know how many Nat 5s within 100, right?
125. Because like I said, he summoned just over 600, like I think it was like 640 something, and he got 7 Nat 5s. So the ratio should be better than 1 per 100, but I'm saying for sake of the experiment, 125 is the number. So when you hit like 113, you'll go to like 126, because that's just what you're on track to do. When I get up there, I'm just going to round out whatever I need to end it. So,
cool.
There we go.
Gangster's Parasites. Should I count it down?
You should.
3, 2, 1, and summon some stuff.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, if we get an at 5, we're still keeping track. Like, it's going to, because it doesn't invalidate the experiment, because if we get better than that... Hey, look at lightning.
What does this lightning you speak of?
It's a little jack-o'-lantern guy.
Good old chilling. Chilling with chilling.
Then a big brown shark came.
All right. Getting those pipes to get in order. Let's get these pipes in order.
Okay, lightning again.
Excellent.
Hey, look at another Abigail.
Are you going to actually awaken this one?
I mean, I have one awoken and one not, because that's what the speed team has. Okay. That is on the server, so...
So I just did my 10 mysticals. I'm going to do 1 L&D and my 1 legendary.
Oh, I did my L&D and got like my millionth lizard man. So, here we are. I've decided...
Got my L&D, and I got Crawler, the Frankenstein.
I would love that unit. That unit has such a stupid... That unit has such a stupid mechanic that I love it.
We talked about that.
I know. And we talked then that that's the one Frankenstein I don't have. You know what? I tell you, your account gets all of the monsters I want the most, and then my account gets none of them. Anyways, I'm also going to, as part of this experiment, keep note of how many lightning. So, 2 lightning... And it was 1 water scroll, 1 L&D, and then just mysticals.
So I have no lightning at all, except for obviously this legendary, which I saved for last. Come on, legendary.
You got this, bud. You got this.
Let's
Whoa,
see.
lightning!
Yeah, right? Crazy.
Hey, look, it's a Ninetales.
Skill ups for good old Sora.
Right?
So, the experiment continues. Continue R. Excellent.
What did I get? I got Abigail, and what was the other one?
You got Abigail and Chilling.
Chilling, that's right. I'm also putting down the Awoken Sath that I got. I know it's a 3-star, but...
That's all fake Nat 4.
It is, but I want for the experiment to do anything that's not just a junk summon. So, gotcha. If it's an Awoken 4-star, I just want to take note of it. So, I've got it. I did 16 summons, 2 lightning, 1 water scroll, 1 L&D, the rest mysticals, and what I got out of it. So...
Excellent. Who we shouting out this week, Lightstar?
Of course, as we said, I mean, definitely, I just want to make this a blanket one, but all of the content creators out there who do stuff with Summoners War, I mean, it's a wonderful community. We have said this before, time and time again. It's just a great amount of people who are doing content creation, and they're
the creativity of some of these folks is brilliant, man.
Oh yeah,
seriously.
And
very inspiring.
And I mean, especially another happy birthday to JD, and a thank you for your support, and congratulations on all of your new monsters, and for inspiring this very detail-orientated graphical notes that we're going to keep on Google Excel spreadsheet that I'm going to share with Aztec after we're done here.
So I can add mine.
So that we can side-by-side comparison analysis. And I'm going to even make it so that it will show us whenever we get duplicates. So we can see when we do get lightning, if it's yucky lightning or not.
I hear you.
Nelly the God. Gigi, Evan, Seppi, all the folks over at Come To Us, everybody in our Discord, DSC Justin, Hyungan, all of the cats who have been there and helped us start, building our community up. We're very appreciative. If you arrived at our Discord somehow, you have the link, go share it amongst people you think might enjoy it, we promise we're going to be better about writing in it one of these days. Anyways, and of course, you, my friend, like you always keep it a lot of fun, and I enjoy that we get to play this together and talk about it. And one of these days, when you feel up for it, I'm going to whoop you live on stream in like 3 RTA battles in a row. It's going to be great.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you did call JD's summons.
Yeah.
But I have to disagree. Maybe not 3 in a row.
Oh, I'm going to beat you like you owe me money. Maybe after you play for a while, RTA, you'll get good, but no, at first I'm going to whoop you like you owe me money. That's my call.
That's the goal. Good to have goals.
Yeah.
But I want to give a big shout out to River Horse. So unfortunately, since we've been, inside a lot, I've been drinking more beer. And River Horse is a brewery in Ewing, New Jersey. And they are just awesome. They make some ridiculous beer. My favorite brand is the Triple Horse. But shout out to River Horse. Definitely want to give a big shout out to my wife. Her gamer tag is Lewin Danny. She really helps out a lot doing the show and of course in life, So, and of course, big shout outs to JD the Gamer. Had an awesome stream. Nelly the God, who I have to jump in his stream very soon. And Bubba Beans and Wu Vane, and definitely to Johnny V. So, just some of the influencers that we're inspired by, and we continue to do this show because of them, and of course because of my great friendship with Lightstar. But yeah, man, that's who I'm shouting out. And shout out to Ymir, the Norse frost giant who just keeps pouring snow on the northeast coast. So shout out to you, frost giant. Thank you. Thanks for all the snow.
I love that.
Loki's dad. I think. I don't know.
Y'all,
is that it? That wraps it up for this particular episode of episode of A Monster Rancher's Guide to Summoner's War. New episodes every Saturday. Hit us up on mrgtsw at Gmail, mrgtsw on Instagram, mrgtsw on Reddit, mrgtsw on Facebook, and at Rancher's Guide on the Twitter. Lightstar, live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.